very unique.
Yes.
You know, we've been talking about texture a lot. That's kind of what we're going with. This is texture in a totally different way. So we've done texture with paint, we've done texture with pencil, and now we're going to do texture with oil pastels.
Yes.
Some of you guys have maybe seen different kinds of pastels. There's chalk pastels and there's oil pastels. Oil pastels don't rub as easy. Like when you use chalk pastels, they get all over the place and you almost have messy. Yeah, they're very messy. These are messy too. I would suggest maybe being in some art clothes just in case, but you can't smear it and rub it as much, but it is a lot of fun. So Rachel, if you want to show everybody what they're going to need for this,
Yes.
that would be great.
So those of you who have your packets, you're going to get out the Rising Moon packet, and you're going to find paper. You're going to have 2 pieces. So no, we didn't forget or get silly. We purposely have 2 pieces. We'll tell you in a moment. Pencil and eraser, and your oil pastels. And so those of you who are watching at home that didn't receive the packet, you want to go gather those supplies. We'll just take a moment. We'll pause right here. Go get your supplies. Make sure you set it up in a nice area that might get a little dirty and get a paint shirt on.
Yes, and if for some reason you did not purchase a box, but you don't have oil pastels, again, this is one of those things you can kind of be creative and find another way to do this project, and it will still work.
If you have chalk, that'll work too. It just looks a little messy. Grab some paper towel.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna start with the sketching part. I have some started here, but if you take your pencil, I want you to do a horizon line. A horizon line goes this way, right? And vertical goes this way. Horizontal.
Yeah.
Vertical. So we're doing horizontal, and we're gonna start about 3/4 up on the page. So just kind of do a line. It doesn't have to be super straight. Obviously mine is not very straight. Oh, Rachel's is much more straight. If you'll also notice too, it doesn't have to be dark. When you're doing your pencil, we don't want the pencil line to be what everybody sees. This is just to help you kind of guide you where you're going to be putting your stuff. So you have the horizon line, boom, 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 right? Then we're gonna work our way up a little bit and then work our way down. To go up, we're gonna, there's kind of some hills here. So we're just gonna do little lumps there. Lumps. They kind of remind me of lumps. And we do real quick. I wanna show you Mango's piece. This is more of a daytime one. You know, one of the interesting things with Van Gogh is he a lot of times did the same picture, but at all different times of the day.
Yeah.
So this was more of a daytime one. We're kind of doing one that's a little bit more nighttime, the sun is setting, and he did that all the time. Even the portrait that we worked on, he had several different portraits, and they were all at different times. Same with our flower with bases. He did one in the beginning with the flowers, and he did one as they were dying. Like, he just did the same thing, kind of. Yes, exactly, that's deep. Oh. Artists are deep, right? So, we did our little mountains, right? And then you just do kind of like that half circle, kind of like setting down, going down. So, this is a fun part too. So, when you do the river right here, there's like a little river. All you have to do, it's almost like doing another horizon line. Super easy. You just go down a little further and you just kind of angle up until you meet the other horizon line. So here was our first one, and then we went down and we just kind of met it. And you can see it a little bit more here. We came down here, we just kept going, and then we met. See that?
Yeah. Nice. What's that little thing in the corner?
It's a cute little barn. We all love barns. So, you know what? Let's do our little barn. And you know what? This little barn, because it's so far away, it doesn't have to be super detailed. It's just really a little square and a roof with like two lines. So, remember we talked about You can look at everything in shapes. When you break it down like a shape, it makes it so much easier to draw. So it's kind of like a square, and then it's like we started a triangle at the top for the roof. Then we've got our haystacks, is what it is, kind of. And we're just gonna draw some like scattered, and they're almost like rounded triangles in a way with no bottom. I mean, we broke it down like a shape, that's what I think of, right? Now, once you have this outline, this comes the fun part, okay? That's what the extra piece of paper is for. We are going to practice our strokes, right? So I'm going to do one with a haystack right here. I just drew one. I'm just going to practice. Now this is really unique, and it's going to take a little bit of time. Remember, don't rush. Plenty of time to do this. You're going to do it like with lines and strokes, and I'll show you what I mean.
Texture.
I love texture. Oops, I'm stealing from yours. Okay, here's our little hill here, our little hay, and just like doing lines,
Little strokes.
little strokes. But you may want to try to like practice a little bit and see how big you want to do your strokes, you know, kind of get a feel for what you're liking before you go into your bigger piece, which your piece won't be this big, but your final piece, you'll want to just kind of have a feel for how you want it to look. I will say with oil pastels, it's really hard to erase these. It's not easy. So if you know what you like here, you know when it goes on your final piece of work, you know it's gonna be good. So I did some brown lines, and then I'm just gonna test some things out. I feel like there's some different colors going on here. If you look at Van Gogh's work, it had some darker colors and some lighter colors. So I started with some brown, but I am going to take some yellow over here. And I'm just gonna kind of go over it. I don't know if you can tell, it kind of blends the two together. You know, when we were doing pencils, I talked about using a lot of the same colors just to get that texture, like, but in different variations. So like we did different color browns, but all together, different color yellows. It's the same kind of concept with oil pastels, except they kind of start blending together, which kind of looks cool. I don't know if you can tell. As I go over the brown, it kind of makes the brown a little darker.
Mm-hmm.
It pulls it out a little bit longer.
Blending.
Yeah, it's kind of working together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just practicing on the sheet, and I'm going, you know what? I kind of like that. I think that'll be good. And Rachel was practicing too.
Yes.
And she did some of her blues. She tried all different ones.
So you can also try for some of the texture, if you like the layered look of cross-hatching across each other. It gives it a little bit more dimension and pop up depending on your area. Maybe the mountain scene will be more choppy. But then we also have, we're gonna have that river going through. Rivers are flowy, so I did more of the curved line, like it's flowing water. And then for the hay, you can do more of the choppy, and then, like she was saying, layer in with other colors so that it blends. Voila. So you can play with it. It doesn't all have to be little lines. It can be more wispy. And again, that's what Mr. Van Gogh, with the hay especially, showing how much texture, when you look at a real hay bale, there's a lot of texture and movement in it. So have fun with it.
Yeah, and even in the sky, you know, when you're talking about that, it looks like some of his lines are longer here, but in the sky, he actually has like these short strokes there. Maybe he was trying to show the sun rays. So when we go over to this larger piece that I started, I kind of started the sky first, and I don't know if you notice, I did longer lines here and some flowy ones, almost kind of giving it the appearance that there may be some clouds in there. I did a whole bunch of different colors in there. I did different blues, whites. I mean, you could really have fun with the sky, because when you think about it, when you look up at the sky, there is a lot of different colors up there. It's not just blue. It's kind of dark in some areas and light in other areas. And the mountains I had started in brown, but like I think I might like add some of this lighter brown, just more strokes, just playing around with it. But if you can see, like when you're doing strokes instead of coloring, it does take a long time, right? Because when I'm coloring, I'm just like, doo, 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 like see how fast that is? This is having to slow down one step at a time. And sometimes it can be like, oh, I'm so tired of working on the sky, I'm so done. But that's what's great. If you don't feel like doing the sky anymore, go to a hay bale or the river, or maybe do your little barn over here, or take a break altogether. There's lots of times where I just walk away from it for a little bit, eat some lunch, come back and go, okay, now I'm ready to dive back in. And you'll find when you take little breaks that you do come back with new ideas, and your piece of work is going to be so much better. When you rush through things is when it's just not all that it could be. So really take your time, work at it. It's okay if you mess up. The good thing is, if you get to your final one and you feel like you've messed up, try to find some more paper. Paper is usually a pretty easy thing to find, and then you can try some more.
Yeah.
You could, if even with this scene, you know, we're working on this scene, but after you do this one, you want to try your whole neighborhood scene. Maybe you like to go to a park. Try doing it in a park like this. It's kind of fun to add different things.
So on mine, it's just a reminder to start at the very beginning, start at the top. So I did my moon, because the moon's rising up over the mountains. And now I'm going to work on my mountains, and then I'll do my sky, then the river, and the haystacks. And like Jen said, you can keep adding, but that will help kind of get the layout of what it's going to look like, and then you're not also running over it with your hands so much.
That's true. Sometimes you'll see, like, you know, I don't know if you can tell on my hands because I've kind of been all over the place. It does get on your hands and your clothes. It might not be a good day to wear a white shirt. You might want to wear some of your paint shirts, stuff like that. So we're going to keep working at this a little bit. Did you have one that was finished from before?
I do. Joey,
Pause.
And we're back. So, like I was saying, here's my example. And I started at the top and I did my sky, the moon, my mountains, the river, and the haystack, and my little barn. I love the little barn.
Oh, and Rachel, you know what too? Rachel just put her initials in the corner. That's good. You gotta be proud of your work. And you want people to know how hard you worked on it. When you're finished with yours, we want to see it. And listen, don't feel embarrassed about posting it for everyone to see. That's what we're here for. They're all going to look different, and that's the fun and exciting part. We are so excited to see how everybody's looks different.
Can't
And
wait.
that's so important. Well, bye guys. We'll be with you next time. See ya.